ladies and gentlemen, from time to time, what we will be
Exciting.
doing is doing some fantasy booking.
I love
And
this.
these will be random ideas from time to time. And one of the things that's been prevalent, especially with going on WWE 2K 23, is a buildup of factions. And of course, we know about classic legendary factions. We don't even have to talk about Four Horsemen, DX, uh, Legacy.
Bullet Club. Oh, that's another story for another time. We're going to talk about that sometime.
Which, by the way, is for everyone.
David Finley's the leader of Bullet Club. Anyway, let's not get distracted.
We'll discuss that another time because I actually have thoughts on that.
I don't know. Anyway,
definitely. But however, I thought it would be a fun idea for us to build our own four-man faction with a manager. However, this is the only stipulation I ask for this. You list your criteria of why you built your faction, and then you give your faction members.
I mean, I already spoiled one of my people, so you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. I just came to mind. I just built a monster heel faction, right? Okay. First of all, Heyman's my manager because that guy, I mean, he started in Memphis. He was with Austin Idol and Tommy Rich. He built ECW. He's where he is with the Bloodline now. Is he a Hall of Famer in the WWE?
Not yet.
If he's not, he definitely will be. He's one of the greatest managers ever. And honestly, he's a heel, but he could be a babyface also. He can talk. No one can talk better than him. He's my manager. All right. And I said Andre. Andre's one of the biggest beasts to ever wrestle. So, it's a heel faction. Minoru Suzuki is one of my members. Austin Idol and Terry Funk. Those are four guys. If there are four tougher dudes that have ever walked the face, Austin Idol might be my favorite Memphis wrestler ever, even over Lawler. I always loved him. He could be a heel or a baby face and was great either way. He had an incredible body. He could go up against the Road Warriors. He wrestled Lawler, fabulous ones. He could wrestle different styles. So if there's a tougher group of four dudes, Minoru Suzuki choked out Ken Shamrock twice, which incidentally, one of the nicest people I ever met in my life. It's hilarious. Doesn't speak much English, but those are my guys and my manager. And obviously Idol would not be Idol now, the manager. He would be Idol back in his early days in Memphis when he was, 275 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. But that's my group.
And that's the other part,
And Terry Funk, man, I mean, he's one of the greatest ever to wrestle.
Of course.
In
the era. He had made a couple. And this is, of course, based on the wrestlers being in their prime.
Obviously, yeah, because Terry, God bless Terry, he's not doing well health wise, and
No,
Austin's a manager now with NWA, so yeah, but that's in prime. And I guess I would go with Heyman when he was not with Austin Idol, but probably when he was best in ECW, when he was had the long hair with the hat backwards. So that would be the era of Heyman I would use. So that's my faction and my manager. And I had MJF, but I was like, man, you know what? Minoru Suzuki is a tough guy. I'm gonna change him out, and so that's my faction. I don't know what you would call them. They would not be somebody I would want to wrestle for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely a tough faction.
Can you imagine Terry Funk and Minoru Suzuki tagging together? The pain those two guys
the murder squad. That's what you call them.
Yeah. I would not. No, I can't be in that match whatsoever. No.
Wow. Nope. Yeah. All right. So that's my group, guys.
So Clinton, Curtis, whichever one wants to go next, you go ahead.
Curtis, you want to go next?
You're up.
Okay. All right. So with my faction, I wanted to join together four of the greatest men who've ever wrestled together since the Horsemen. So for my faction, I have Bret Hart, Bryan Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr.
Wow.
And this is going to be a little controversial, but we're in fantasy land.
That guy's underrated, by the way. Sabre is an underrated guy, I think.
And I can't wait for him to fight Danielson. Bret, Danielson, DSJ, and Chris Benoit.
Oh, well, hey.
The wrestler.
You put his life away on the other side. His wrestling speaks for itself, brother.
Benoit before that day.
That's an incredible technical factor.
That's incredible, bro.
Who's your manager?
Who's the manager?
So I figured with these guys, they've got pretty decent mic skills. They don't need a lot of talking. They just need someone just to kind of hype them up.
I bet it's a brain.
I actually picked Bill Alfonso as their man.
Oh, I love that. That's
You know, while
awesome.
they're in the ring,
Completely
just
different. That's a
bending
completely
people,
different
you know,
shade of
stretching people, and
on the
he's outside with
spectrum.
the whistle and just being annoying. And the name
That's
I gave
great.
him was the World Class Stretching Crew.
Wow.
World-class
Oh,
stretching.
Of course, you got to do a Stu Hart. You're going to come down to the dungeon.
for my stable, these are all of them can talk some good trash because
Okay.
that's how you bring it in. That's how you bring everyone in. That's how you get into their head. And they can kick some butt as well. And they're gonna give you what is most important, especially if they go heel. That money. That money. So I gotta go with some blockbusters here.
All right.
So my manager is my manager is Heyman. Who's gonna talk better than Heyman?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna go and also another thing is they can be interchangeable. They can go heel, they can go face, they can do it all. My first one is gonna be, and I'm just going by regular order. I'm gonna go with CM Punk. Heyman guy, he's got history.
Okay.
Also, let's go with another guy who's also changed the game. Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
Austin and Punk in a stable together.
Wow. I like that though. I like that. I do.
Okay.
Yeah, you got a tweener stable. I like this. It's
All
good.
right.
Yeah, you can go both sides. Now, another one I'm gonna go with is Seth Rollins because he's proven he's just doing so many things, especially with his current role. He's just showing, look, I can take this and this looks stupid, it's probably gonna sound stupid, but I'm gonna turn it into gold. At first, people didn't think much about the whole fashion gimmick, but what are they doing now? They're singing this song.
Yeah.
And also one of the absolute best, I actually ended up doing 5. I'm not sure if that was too much, but
How dare you?
okay. All right. So
You're good.
next up
You're good, brother. Good.
was one of the best talkers of all time, The Rock, because he's going to bring in the money. You even think on your best day you're going to out-talk The Rock, you better wake up and apologize.
Which Rock? Are we talking Hollywood Rock? Are we talking
Flex Kavana?
I'm gonna go Hollywood Rock on this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Hollywood, I gotta go Hollywood Rock. And this may be a bit controversial, but I'm gonna go John Cena.
It's not your faction, man. It's not controversial.
Right.
But obviously, Dr. Thugonomics, he could push so many boundaries. It's ridiculous. And he's tough as nails.
Okay. That's a pretty awesome faction right there.
That's like the Mount Rushmore of the last 15 years.
Exactly. I won't lie. The way I constructed my faction was something similar on how the Horsemen were constructed, because I look at them as the perfect build of a faction.
You can turn on and watch television for a year, watch the greatest NWA stars, but when it's all said and done, right up at the top of the pile are the 4 Horsemen.
My faction, I built on 3 criteria: their skill set, their mic skills, and can they sell a show. So my guys, it's a little unconventional. I had to fight hard, but of course, I cheated in the sense that I built my faction the way the Horsemen were built, because I feel like the Horsemen were the perfect faction.
That's the classic. That's the classic blueprint of how to build a faction, man.
Exactly. So of course, the manager is Heyman. You can't get a better talker than Heyman as far as a manager goes. He's probably the top 2 or 3 managers ever in professional wrestling, period. So even though my group technically will not need a mouthpiece once you hear the names. So of course, you got to have the leader of the group that's a champion. And of course, there's a list of champions. I picked Stone Cold to be the first. He was so transcendent. You know, that attitude era of WWE pushed wrestling to higher limits, even beyond what Hogan did.
You know what? I think a lot of people forget how good Austin was when he was stunning Steve. Also, I really do.
Exactly. He had very good.
Speaking of Heyman and factions, the Dangerous Alliance, that was an underrated faction. I mean, look, you had Rude, you had Arn, was Bobby Eaton in that?
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah.
Yeah, he
You had
was.
Stunning Steve. I mean, yeah, it was a great faction. Anyway, sorry, I hate to steal your thunder there, but
No, you're good. You're good. So the next person, even though he has been a world champ, he is better known as being one of the greatest intercontinental champions ever, as well as putting on one of the most classic matches ever
The Miz
in wrestling. Macho Man Randy
I'm
Savage.
thinking.
Macho Man.
Okay.
Come on, man.
All
Okay.
right.
Speaking of Miz, I think Miz is a Hall of Famer. Do you guys think that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. I
Absolutely.
mean, two-time double Grand Slam champion. How can you not?
Let's let Peter get back to his thing. Sorry.
Yeah. All right, so
Savage.
I battled on the last two whether to do two individuals or to do a tag team. I went ahead and went the tag team route, and I had to go with two of the best tag team wrestlers ever. Skill set wise, you might not have seen their actual wrestling moves or wrestling ability, but talking on the mic, selling a show, these guys are great at, and they were, I believe, 24, 25-time world champs. Talking about the Dudley Boys.
Oh, the Dudley Boys. Okay. All right.
So
Booyah.
You trying to put
I
on
don't
a show?
have a faction name.
Are you
but
trying to
I
put on a
just
show or
figured-
incite a riot?
Exactly.
Bubba
I
Ray,
just
man.
figured that if you get that as a faction,
Stone Cold, Randy Savage, and the Dudleys. Wow.
Hey, how would you like to see Terry Funk and Minoru Suzuki take on the Dudleys, man?
Man. Oh, that's gonna be a bloodbath.
Think about what a slobber knocker that would be.
That'd be a bloodbath.
so that's how I built my faction. That's how I
like
feel
that.
like that would be a great representation of a faction because you get a little bit of everything with that.